Hi, Matt again, Glaucoma Pirates. Hi again. This is video number 12. So in the last video I covered my first needling procedure and my myosin injection and also the suture removal, which was all part of the same surgery that I had following some excessive scarring, which was following on from the trap that I had. I just need to fill you with a little change of my circumstances at this next stage. So I'd had the needling surgery in December 2022. In January 2023, my renewal came through from my private medical insurance. And to my astonishment, presumably because of the surgeries that I had and because I think private health care prices were increasing anyway, and also I think because I had had a couple of other surgeries non-glaucoma related in a couple of years before that. But anyway, to cut a long story short, my premium went up sort of sixfold. They wanted for the year, so I had to make the sort of financial decision to not renew my private medical insurance, which, you know, to give you an idea, I was paying about £2,000 a year for it, and you know, they wanted sort of £6,000-7,000 a year for the same cover, and that was just not doable, especially since, because of the glaucoma and because of the migraines and everything, I'd actually stopped working as a sales rep, and I've been working for myself now, obviously from home, so it just wasn't financially viable anymore for me to continue with that. So in January 2023, earlier this year, I was referred back to the NHS from private care, and obviously my records were sort of sent over and everything. I was fortunate in that I could register with a different hospital, still a local hospital, but a different hospital that I'd gone to before and had the bad experience of not getting called back and everything else. I was also aware that the surgeon that I was using privately also worked for the NHS and worked at this other hospital, so hence why I wanted to register at that hospital, because I'd heard that some hospitals you get better care than others. So, but again, it was still a relatively local hospital. So I contacted them and explained where I was up to, and they had all the details. And then my first appointment came through, and lo and behold, praise be, I actually ended up with the same consultant looking after me, who was looking after me privately. So sort of my face lit up as soon as I saw him the first time, and he had all the information they needed and all my history and everything. So that was a godsend, really. I think I was very lucky in that respect. Hopefully you might be lucky too, but it's always worth, you know, you may have an option of 2 different hospitals with the NHS, and it's always worth doing a bit of research and finding out which one's going to be best for you. And I think I landed on my feet there with that. So anyway, having had again, I was being checked every sort of 4 weeks from that point, and then it got to the stage in, what was the date line now? Bear me a second. It was by the end of February. Unfortunately, the scarring was getting worse again, and it was decided that I needed to have more needling done and have another subconjunctional injection of myosin C to try and slow that down and not aid the scarring, but prevent the scarring. So I had that second now needling done on the 2nd of March, which was nice because that was 3 days before my birthday. But yeah, the 2nd of March, again, this time it was NHS. So differences with the NHS, you know, you turn up, and on this instance it was weird. I turned up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then I was put into the tiniest, most claustrophobic room you can imagine, with no windows, with 6 other people that were all having different surgeries. I'm not complaining, by the way. You're grateful for whatever you get with the NHS, but there wasn't enough ward beds to take people straight to beds. So it was a bit odd that we were all in this room with all completely different things wrong with us that were going in for surgery. Some of the people in there very serious, life-saving operations, and then there was me just with a bad eye, and all sorts of different people. But I was in that room waiting, just twiddling my thumbs for about 4 hours, I think, before eventually someone came, which was the surgeon, and again marked me up with a big purple arrow on my eye, and said, apologies about the bed, but we should have, you will be getting one shortly. So again, then I was called to go through to the ward about 12 o'clock, midday. Got a bed. They started to do the blood pressure checks and all the other monitoring that they do before any surgery. Very different experience to what I'd previously had privately, but beggars can't be choosers, so it was fine, no problems. I actually quite enjoy being in a ward with other people because you can chat and stuff, whereas when you're on your own in a private ward, it can be a bit lonely. So yeah, had some banter with the chaps next to me. Whilst I was waiting, the anaesthetist came and saw me, and just went through the general anaesthetic again, which I was again eternally grateful for. No chef came to see what I wanted when I woken up, but I'm going to let that slide for now. Yeah, the only difference in the next part is instead of walking down to the theatre, you're wheeled down to theatre at the NHS. So it's quite nice taxi ride through all the corridors of the hospital. You get to theatre, you get general anaesthetic done, and you're away with the fairies again. Again, woke up exactly the same as the previous needling, really, with the sutures. Dressing on your eye, feel a bit groggy, but you're okay. Come round within an hour and being returned back to the ward. They have bought me a sandwich. Yeah, I think it was cheese or something. I think I had the choice of cheese or ham sandwich, and that was okay. A cup of coffee. Bit slower in releasing. They're a bit slower with releasing you at the NHS, but I think that's purely because it takes them longer to get your big bag of eye drops sorted out and meds and get you discharged, and they're obviously waiting for doctors that are just busier and seeing lots of other patients at the same time. So I think with that, got home. I think I was released about 7 o'clock in the evening eventually. My wife came and picked me up, took me home. Very similar experience to last time, the last surgery. So the patch stayed on for 24 hours. Again, had guard for sleeping, so you don't rub your eye in the night. Sorry, it sounds like I'm just repeating myself. Now you go back and watch the other video if you want. But yeah, recovery-wise, same thing again. Take it easy. Don't drive for a week or so until you can see better. I don't know if I covered this completely in the last one, but your vision-wise, it's just really blurry, and it just takes a few days, a week or two to settle down and get back to how your vision was before the surgery. But other than that, same eye drops, same medication, same eye drop sting, but not as much as before. But my wife still enjoyed me putting them in, especially the first few days. But yeah, that was my second experience of needling. My first glaucoma surgery on the NHS. No complaints there. It was just as good. Just took longer. That was all. It just took longer, and you don't get the choice of dishes when you wake up. But other than that, not a problem. So that's the end of video 12. Video 13. That's unlucky. Better be careful on the next video. But yeah, video 13 will be coming next, which will tell you about my third needling. So it'll be a lot of repetitiveness, except for there was a bit of a complication with the third one, and it wasn't pleasant. So I'll tell you all about that in the next video. But again, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you later. Cheers. Thank you.